Hello there, everyone. How are you all doing? Today, I'm going to be going over the National League and how it's looking at this point in the 2026 season. The deadline is a week from today at the time that I'm recording. And so, teams are going to start to figure out if they're buyers or sellers at the deadline. And so I want to discuss where each team in the NL is and talk about where they're going to be going once the deadline hits. So let's jump right into it. All right, so starting off here with the Atlanta Braves. They are currently first place in the NL East and are almost 20 games over 500, which is pretty great considering how injury riddled and how much they struggled the last 2 years. But they bounced back in a big way this year. And real quick, I just want to kind of go over some of the standout players. I'm going to do this with every single team. But some of the standouts this year have mainly been Michael Harris, who has been one of the best center fielders and outfielders in baseball. Chris Sale has been amazing. Matt Olson started off the season red hot, same with Drake Baldwin. Ozzy Albies was an all-star this year. Jose Suarez was really good. Grant Holmes been holding it down on the pitching side as well. All around, the team's just really deep. A bunch of guys stepping up. A few guys still struggling. Maybe they'll wake up, maybe they won't. But all in all, the team is pretty solid this year. I think this team is probably the second best team in the entire. Actually, probably third or fourth best team in the whole NL. There's a few teams I would probably put over them, but Atlanta is definitely on the right track to becoming postseason contenders again, which is good for them. My guess is that they're going to end up buying at the deadline. There's been lots of rumors surrounding Tarek Skubal and other front-of-the-line pitchers, which makes sense. I mean, their pitching is a little under. It's struggling a little, all things considered, outside of Sale. So it just makes the most sense. But I think all in all, Atlanta's a really good team, and they'll probably end up being the division leaders and the division winners for the rest of the season. Next up is the Philadelphia Phillies. The Philadelphia Phillies are good. There's not really much else you can really say about them. This is my home team, so I'm going to be a little harsher on them. Going into the deadline, they're obviously going to try and buy, but it doesn't mean that they're necessarily good. They've had a lot of struggles during the course of the season, and they're still struggling. Pitching, though, is not one of their problems. At least starting pitching, they've been elite this year. Probably one of the best rotations in all of baseball. But there's a few holes on this team that really are preventing them from being above the rest. First off, the lineup is absolutely atrocious. You can kind of see it here. The only two good guys on the whole roster are Harper and Schwarber. And Marsh has been good this year. He made an all-star team for the first time. But outside of that, everybody else on the hitting side has been absolutely horrendous. Another issue with this team has been its bullpen. Its bullpen has constantly imploded during the course of the season. Jose Alvarado hasn't been very good. And guys just are coming up short. Free agent signings aren't doing very well. And our fifth spot in the rotation is a complete black hole right now. So, all in all, not necessarily the best season out of the Phillies. It's clear regression is starting to catch up to them. They'll definitely buy at the deadline, but they'll probably do their usual platoon bat, one bullpen arm, and then like a fringe fifth starter that isn't very good. That's what I think is going to happen this season. So, yeah, I mean, they'll probably make the playoffs, but I don't know if they'll get very far. Next team up is the Washington Nationals. They've been a really weird team this year because their offense has been historic. But overall, as a team, they haven't necessarily been the best. They've actually already made a move I think it was as of 2 days ago, they traded Curtis Mead. Uh, I forget who it was for. I think it was Connerly Early of the Red Sox, which is a good trade for them. Definitely a lot of high value in that. But all in all, team's offense is doing really, really well. Outside of that, though, just not really much else. Starting rotations really struggled outside of Foster Griffin. And all in all, their bullpen has imploded time over during the course of the season. So lots of struggles for the Nationals. They'll probably sell, but I don't think they'll sell any of their major pieces. So they're definitely starting to build a core here in Washington. Next up is the Miami Marlins. Now, the Miami Marlins, going into the All-Star break, were really, really good. Coming out of it, they've struggled a lot. They haven't won outside of the All-Star break yet, and as of the time I'm recording this, they're down to the Phillies right now already, and the game just started. They're on a franchise-worst 12-game losing streak, which is a bit of a shame. I feel like this team is playoff caliber. They just aren't fully ready to take that leap yet, I guess. Main standouts are Otto Lopez, Max Meyer, Xavier Edwards, Mack, and Hicks, as well as Sandy Alcantara and Yuri Perez, who have been very, very good. The team's solid all around. Probably buyers at the deadline, but if they keep going on this skid, they'll probably end up selling. So we'll see how everything turns out. Last but not least is the New York Mets. The New York Mets have been atrocious this season, and I feel like that's even a bit of an understatement. They've been the worst team in the NL East and one of the worst teams in the NL. They're just not good. It's really just that simple. Juan Soto, AJ Ewing, Carson Bench, Clay Holmes, Luke Weaver, and Nolan McLean have been the only standouts on this roster pretty much. Everybody else has kind of sucked in a major way. And I would not be surprised if this team is full on selling at the deadline. I already know Freddie Peralta's been put in a lot of trade rumors. Lindor's been thrown around. Bichette's been thrown around. So this team's definitely going to blow it up come deadline. And that's not necessarily a surprise because they are not very good. So, I mean, there's not really much else you can say. They're going to sell. They're the worst team, or one of the worst teams in the NL for a reason. Next up is the Milwaukee Brewers. Now, the Milwaukee Brewers are a very good team. Probably the second best team in the whole of the NL. And that's in large part due to Bryce Terang and Mizorowski being just as good as they are. Kyle Harrison has been incredible this season. Jake Bowers, Garrett Mitchell, Churio, Abner, Garrett Mitchell, Contreras, just a whole bunch of well-rounded players, teeing it off. Team is definitely struggling in some aspects, mainly home runs. They're not really hitting any home runs, and I feel like that's just because they have a lack of power, which is fine. It's not the end of the world, but definitely not necessarily what you would want. And I mean, their bench is good, but it's not the best. But the main way they're going to be able to improve is by calling up their young guys. Lewis Lara and Cooper Pratt mainly have been the main call-ups so far. They performed really, really well this season. And all in all, the rotation has been pretty solid. Unfortunately, Woodruff went under the knife, which is a big blow to them. But they'll probably find someone to replace him. Their bullpen also has been elite. Trevor McGill, Chad Patrick, Ashby, Abner, DL Hall. Just a whole bunch of guys that are stepping up and doing well. So this Brewers team all around is just really, really good. I wouldn't be shocked if their World Series contenders come, October. And yeah, I mean, this team has been elite so far this year. So Next team up is the Chicago Cubs. Now they've had a bit of a roller coaster of a season, going at one point from being a 2-12 team all the way back to a 12-14 or 12-2 team. In certain runs during the course of the season, they've had their ups, they've had their downs, but they're still pretty solid, all things considered. All around, main guy you're looking out for is Pico Armstrong. He's been absolutely absurd this year so far. But guys like Seiya, Dansby, Ben Brown, Ian Happ, Bregman's had his ups and downs, but he's been okay for the most part. Nico Horner, all just good pieces. But the main part that they're struggling the most with is their starting rotation. Their rotation has not been very, very good this year. Jameson Taillon just got DFA'd as of today, which means their only good pitcher has pretty much just been Shota Imanaga, who has definitely struggled at points this year. And their bullpen hasn't been particularly great either, with Phil Maton not being a very good signing. Jacob Webb's been okay. Ryan Rollison's been okay. But all in all, the team is definitely struggling a lot to win games or pitch well in games, and has given up a lot of, home runs and all that jazz. So the Cubs definitely have some work to do, but they're a very good team, and yeah, I mean, they're probably going to make the postseason, so good for them. Next team up is the up-and-coming Pittsburgh Pirates. The Pittsburgh Pirates have been very, very good this year so far, and have definitely, done better in their expectations than most people thought. Their main Achilles heel this year has been their bullpen, but all in all, I mean, offense has been great. Brian Reynolds, Brandon Lau, Ryan O'Hearn, O'Neal Cruz when he's played. All just really good offensive pieces. No true superstar yet, though. But they're definitely going to get there, hopefully with Connor Griffin one day. Emerson Valdez, though, has been insane, stepping up 14 home runs, and I believe he hit 12 in 30 games coming into the deadline, which is insane. So, yeah. Starting rotation's been pretty solid. Braxton Ashcraft and Paul Skeens have definitely been the two-headed monster. But even then, both have kind of struggled so far. Their bullpen's been their main Achilles heel, though, with Dennis Santana getting DFA'd after a great season last year. And Soto having to step up into that closer role, which he's definitely not ready for. Definitely probably going to buy at the deadline. When you're having this type of year as the Pittsburgh Pirates, you kind of have to. But all in all, they definitely have a lot of improvement that they could be doing. So we'll see what happens. Next up is the surprise St. Louis Cardinals. They've been pretty good this year, much better than expectations had them. Their main standouts this year have been J.J. Weatherholt and Jordan Walker. They've been incredible this year so far. Their offense has been pretty okay, and their bullpen's been pretty solid, but their main Achilles heel so far has been their starting pitching. Michael McGreevy's been their main starter, but all in all, I feel like there's just not a lot of arms that you can necessarily lean on in a playoff game if they do end up making it. In some kind of sense, same with the bullpen. The bullpen's been good in stretches for sure, but there's no main guy you can really lean on. So it's really just one of those things where you got to see what happens. The Cardinals could definitely buy at the deadline, but they could also definitely sell. Personally, I could see them buying in an NL Central that's kind of a mess. So I would expect them to buy, try and see if they can pick up some wins, and maybe lock in a wild card spot. Last team up is the Cincinnati Reds. I kind of thought Cincinnati was going to be one of those surprise teams coming into the year. After finally making the postseason last year and definitely having some good prospects going into their second year, I thought they were definitely going to step it up. But instead, they've kind of taken a step back. And a large part of that is just because their offense has not performed. Their main signings have not done particularly well. And that's not really a fault of the Reds. I mean, most of their guys are young guys that should be going into career years or starting to develop in major ways that just haven't worked out. And Henio Suarez hasn't went well. You definitely would probably want to take that contract back if you could. Their starting pitching's been okay in spurts, but definitely some struggles. Abbott's been your main guy, same with Chase Burns. But the rest of the rotation's been very up and down. Same with their bullpen. The main guy you can really trust there is Brock Burke. Outside of that, not really anyone else you can trust. Hopefully Hunter Green is able to turn around now that he's back, but we'll just kind of have to see. I would expect the Nationals to be sellers, or not the Nationals. I would expect the Reds to be sellers at the deadline. They don't really have a lot to work with right now, and they should definitely get rid of some of their pieces if they can. The next team up is the Los Angeles Dodgers. They're far and away the best team in the NL this year. Definitely going to be buyers. They've been really, really good this year, even being incredibly banged up. Shohei's been insane this year. Same with Andy Pages, Yamamoto, Max Muncy, Freeman. You know all the guys. Surprisingly, though, Kyle Tucker has definitely struggled so far this year. Even then, the team around him has managed to pick up the slack in large part. Their starting rotation has been incredibly good this season, especially with a lot of people going under the knife, which tends to happen every single year. But it is what it is. And their bullpen has been elite as usual. And now that Edwin Diaz is back, I'm sure he'll put up good numbers too. So, all in all, not really much else you can say about the two-time defending champs. They're going to be really, really good. Next up is the Arizona Diamondbacks. They're not particularly great. They're a good offensive team. Pitching wise, they've been okay, and bullpen wise, they've been okay. But nothing about this team really screams elite. Even Corbin Carroll hasn't had a great season to his standards. Geraldo Perdomo has come way down. Same with Ketel Marte, who might be on his way out, depending on where things shape up towards the deadline. I know the Diamondbacks have insisted they're not getting rid of him, but he's been kind of a diva for the past month. So there's a chance he could definitely end up leaving. All in all, your main standouts are Eduardo Rodriguez, Gabby Moreno, Corbin Carroll, Geraldo Perdomo, Mike Soroka when he pitched. Arenado hasn't been horrible for them, which is kind of surprising. But all in all, this team's just very mediocre. They're probably not going to get very, very far. Next team up is San Diego Padres. They've been very mediocre this year. Their pitching has been pretty solid all in all, but they've really struggled offensively this year. When your highest batting WAR is 1.4, and it's Tatis who didn't hit home runs for 2 months of the season, definitely not good. Although Ty France has been picking up the slack a lot recently too, so good for Ty France. But all in all, this team's struggling. Manny is, Tatis is, Fermin, Cronenworth, Bogarts, all struggling. Pitching wise, Michael King's been good, but the rest of the rotation has definitely not been. But the bullpen's definitely where this team thrives. Mason Miller and Morejon being your 1-2 is elite. Wandy Peralta's been solid. Bragdali Rodriguez has been good. And in spurts, guys like JP Sears or Yuki Matsui haven't been horrible either. So, all in all, mediocre team, definitely more of a pitching roster. Because their hitting has definitely struggled. Next team up is the San Francisco Giants. They're definitely not very good. They're not going to make the postseason. This team has struggled a lot in multiple stretches this season, mainly on the offense side. They can't really hit the ball at all. Outside of Luis Arias or Rafi, they really can't get anywhere. Willie and Chapman just have not been overly great this season. Neither has many of their other players on offense. Their pitching hasn't been great either, with Robbie Ray being their best pitcher and leading their pitching side and more. Logan Webb struggled. Layden Raup has struggled. Bullpen has struggled too. Just not a good team. A bit surprising considering I thought they were going to be a lot more well-rounded than they are. But definitely a sign for them to blow it up a little and sell at the deadline. And the last team up is the Colorado Rockies. I don't think it'd be much of a surprise to say that Colorado is not very good. They have a few good pieces on this roster, but all in all, they're just not very good. Hunter Goodman's good. T.J. Rumfield, Kyle Karros, and some of their pitching has been good in spurts, but most of it is going to get traded at the deadline. All in all, offense is definitely where this team thrives, but even then, they haven't been elite. So there's not really much else I can say about the Colorado Rockies other than they're just a very mediocre roster in general, and I don't feel like that's much of a surprise. All right, well, with that being said, I hope you all enjoyed. If you do like MLB content, please leave a like, subscribe, leave a comment about other things that I should do, because I definitely want to try and do more MLB stuff. And feel free to check out any of my other videos as well. But yeah, without further ado, I hope you all enjoyed, and take care.